Seems like you're prepping for a beer fire.
It's a kind of beer fire. It's a special type of beer fire. Requires special equipment.
So I think we have a pretty special beer tool to experiment with today. Do we not?
We do. Right. But we need first.
It's the beer fire lighting apparatus. You know, the things that we do for good beer.
Right?
Right?
Look at this. It's all set up here.
This is amazing. So we haven't revealed what this beer secret is yet. I mean, the title of the video and the thumbnail probably give it away, but
maybe
we haven't. Maybe we'll see. We haven't given this away yet.
What if we do the thumbnail like whatever tool it is, and we blur it out, and we just call it like the best beer tool ever.
We blur it out.
Best beer magic.
If we blur it out, it's going to look pretty like pretty penis-like, I gotta say.
No, I think we can do it. I think we can do it. I bet we can do it without making it look like that. All right.
All right. Tell us about the tool.
Let's go.
Oh wait, I gotta follow the beer table.
Yes. Follow the beer table. So the tool.
Yes.
It's very interesting. So this specific edition is called the beer caramelize, but I prefer to refer to it as a beer.
Can I show you something?
Yeah.
Caramelizer, you see?
Caramelizer. Caramelizer. So it's the same thing. How do you pronounce kernel?
Caramel.
There's an R in there? No. Caramel. That's how you pronounce it. I like to refer to it as the beer wand.
Yes.
Because it's...
Oh, look at this. Look at this beautiful piece of beer machinery.
Right?
You talk about beer wizardry. This is beer wizardry at its finest.
And so you get it out here. It comes in these 3 parts.
Look at this. And you were describing this as like the ultimate tactile experience too, right?
It is. It is.
Like,
it is. I like it has a weight to it.
It does, right? Can you see
it has a weight to it.
It's kind of like it's almost like, I don't know if you would say this is like maybe half a pound. Like how much would this weigh? It's heavy. It's definitely heavy.
It's got a weight to it, and it's the feeling like it has the wood handle. You get to hear the noises here, and then there you go.
Look at that. It's like a beer torture device.
So see, I think if we do blur it out, it's going to look more like a wand.
Okay, in this position, yeah.
See?
If it's you standing and this is blurred out,
that's what I'm thinking. So this is how we're going to blur it out.
If it was just this,
just
blurred out.
Sure, but I'm thinking more like you would with a wand.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So that's the beer wand.
Okay, we must explain the beer caramelizer.
So the beer caramelize is actually coming from an old German tradition, and according to legend, back in Germany, obviously during winter time they would store beer out in outside storage houses, and the beer would get like a little too cold to drink right out of the barrels.
That's right.
What they would do, somebody at a certain point came up with this idea, and legend says that it was the blacksmith that came up with this idea. They had these tools that they would always use for their work. They were very hot, so they would stick it into the beer to heat it up, and this would produce a very interesting effect. Obviously, would make the beer warmer. Is the primary thing, but the secondary effect is that it would caramelize the sugar, the residual sugars that were present into the beer. So and I'm going to mispronounce this, but in German I think it's called Bierstahl. Sorry, Bierstahl. And what it means is beer poking. So I love the beer puns. Okay, because throw another lager on the fire. Yeah.
And there's another one on here that I spotted before. Where is it? I'll find the beer pun, the secondary beer pun.
Well, you take your time, man. I need to get another lighter.
So we are going to be caramelizing beer, but specifically they recommend using a Bock. Understandably so. So what we're going to be caramelizing is actually the Yuengling Bock beer. And the Yuengling Bock beer, we may or may not have released a review of this yet, but basically the Yuengling Bock beer is only available at the actual tap house of the Yuengling Brewery here in Tampa. You can't really get it in any stores. It's not available in the grocery stores here, not available in the liquor stores, but we went and we procured a 12-pack of the Bock, the Yuengling Bock. So this is what we're going to be caramelizing. We're doing it according to instructions.
So now, next thing, this sometimes might take a moment.
You can't rush a beer fire.
You cannot.
You must respect the beer fire. The beer fire needs to be done with utmost respect and care.
It really must.
So how long does this thing have to heat up for?
It takes about 5 minutes. When it's you understand what I mean. It's blazing red.
Okay, but I have a very important question for you then.
Go ahead.
Are we gonna have a beer ready for while we're waiting for the beer poker to be hot?
I feel like that's a very important question, my friend, and I feel like we should have a beer while we're waiting for the beer.
I'll be right back. What? You found.
Ready?
Okay, so the fire's going. So basically, what do we do at this point? You just sort of rest it on the edge?
So what we do is, I hold it just to keep, but you could have a rest. Like this is again the second time I'm doing it, so I haven't figured out the full.
So you're basically a professional.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
And you hold it the whole time?
I mean, I don't have a proper rest,
Right,
so I'm
yeah.
just trying to get it hot. But again, like it takes about 5 minutes.
Okay, so you need a beer for while you're doing this.
I do need to get my
Okay, so we have the Celebration IPAs, which we thought were no longer available, but we found the 2023 Celebration Fresh Hop IPAs in the fridge of a Publix liquor store. And this is really exciting because I've never had this one. This is one that I've always wanted to try. And I'm one-handing this. I can't. Hopefully the head isn't too intense. Yeah, head is definitely intense. Look at this beautiful man here. Look what he's doing.
holding the beer with.
All this so that we can have a delicious caramelized Bock beer. So the carbonation on these Celebration IPAs is absolutely insane. This I did the straight one-hand pour because I was holding the camera. This one I tilted, and it still just exploded with head. I guess we should let these settle a bit, huh? Maybe, but I'm dying. Let me try this.
Color.
Right?
The Celebration color. I love how rich and malty
Yeah.
it looks. Anticipation of the beer fire. See how it's...
Oh my god, look at that. Yeah, that's glowing.
Yeah. And in the dark it looks
Holy
even
shit.
more spectacular.
The last time you did it was at nighttime?
Yep.
That is one hot beer poker.
Cheers, man. Come on. Right by the beer fire. There you go.
So you think the hops aren't as potent as when it's fresh?
I would say they're not as potent and present as when, at least in the aroma.
Yeah.
But I still love the fact that you can taste the hops and you get that nice malty body to it on the taste. It's just so good. This is probably my favorite IPA if I had to pick one.
This is really similar in character to the Torpedo for me. Like, you know, I really love the Torpedo, which for me, like, loving a double IPA is actually kind of surprising for me how much I really liked it. And then this one kind of, it's a little less malty than the Torpedo.
You find it less malty?
I find it a little less malty. I found the Torpedo was like really heavy on the malt. In a good way. And this one, still very malty. No doubt about it. Like, it's not lacking in that character at all. You know what? I would have to have them side by side to compare, really. So maybe I should hold off on doing the comparisons with the Torpedo. But as its own thing, this is my style of IPA, man.
It is.
This is really
So
my
happy
style
to
of
hear
IPA. Not overly citrusy. Actually, not citrusy at all in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't take those characteristics. It's very bready, malty, delicious hops. What an epic beer day, man.
It is an epic beer day, and we are about to look. This is ready.
Is it ready?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
we're gonna give you some beer instructions here. So we're gonna need that Bock poured in that delicious and wonderful stein,
So
but
we're-
with very little head.
With very little head.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say in a quarter of the glass
quarter?
Just a quarter with very little head.
Okay.
I would, that glass is relatively thick, so
Yes.
I think it's best for the experiment.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yes,
there
that
we
looks
go.
good.
Quarter of the glass.
And if you could place the glass on the table.
Okay. It smells like a bakery. Like, it smells like freshly baked bread. This is absolutely insane. This is an aroma that you never get off beer. It's kind of an aroma that you get when you go to a brewery. You know, that kind of like super, super concentrated maltiness. And look, oh, okay. Oh my God.
How's it taste?
I can't even. So this Bock, there's a little bit of sweetness to it originally, but it's a sweetness that takes on a whole other characteristic. It almost gives it like a kind of like a sweet bun kind of taste to it, where it's really, really bready, but almost like there's honey. There's like a caramelized sweetness to it too. Like when they say it's a beer caramelizer, they're not lying. But it's so subtle. You know what's really cool about this too? Because the beer was cold to be, well, not cold, it's like room temperature to begin with. A little chilly, not warm by any stretch of the imagination. And you put that hot poker in it, you get like this sensory experience of cold and warm beer kind of mixed together as you're taking a sip too, which is just incredible. I've never experienced anything like this before. Oh my God, man. Okay, you gotta take a big whiff of that.
Ah, yeah. So you get almost marshmallow.
Yeah,
burnt
totally.
Part of the marshmallow.
Yeah.
I like how you describe like the sweet buns, but it almost turns into this like raw roasted barley. Like the process, it almost goes back to origin, like before it turned into beer.
Totally.
The complexity of it is just amazing. You know, the beer to begin with is very good.
How are there not like pubs that are doing this right now? This is amazing. You know how Lucre taps became a trendy thing for people to do with lagers recently? I think this is the next beer thing.
It probably is.
I think we might be ahead of the game on this, man. I think next year everybody's going to be using beer pokers, caramelizers.
It's possible. It's possible, my friend. Like it's
what an experience.
To be fair, have to give credit to again, like our friends at the Berry House, because they were doing it, and that's where like I had experienced this actually in Europe.
Yeah, man, they're the true innovators.
Berry House had this at a recent event that I attended, and I thought, ooh, this could be interesting. So I tried to recreate it with some friends without the proper tool.
Yeah.
We got close, but with this one here, it's much
Wait, what
easier.
kind of tool did you use?
We tried to use a honing rod, but I think that the problem was the beer that we used was not sweet enough.
What kind of beer was it again?
We used the Yuengling.
Use a regular Yuengling, yeah.
Yuengling,
definitely. It doesn't have enough sugars to caramelize properly.
We got the foam part, but it just the taste was not as rich.
Right, that makes sense.
It is with with the Bock, or it would be interesting to try with a double Bock.
Oh my God! Right?
Better.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
So,
the beer caramelizer.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What's happening there?
Raise the beer fire. I gotta say, this is just the greatest thing ever.
I'm happy you're enjoying it.
If we lived in the same city, it would be dangerous.
It definitely would. So I have an idea, my friend. Like, stay there. Like, I'll be back. A little bit more comfortable.
I appreciate that you realize that I'm an old beer man.
No, it was mostly like I realized, wait, we have chairs.
I still think I'm 20 years old and I can squat for 5 minutes. Much more comfortable. So we really want to get it to the point where it's kind of like really glowing bright orange, like beyond the head of it.
Yes, that's exactly it. It needs to be, like you saw earlier, it has to be completely red, the bottom, or glowing orange, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So way more than that.
Yeah. What's better than this? Caramelizing some beer, sunny Florida afternoon. Let's do it.
You ready?
All right.
Here we go.
Don't touch the glass. Oh my God. Okay, this is too much fun. This is way too much fun.
You can go a little further down.
A little further down.
And perfect.
Caramelize that foam at the top. Get you a nice little burnt bit on there.
Yes.
Okay, my friend.
All right.
You take the first sip on this one. How's that smell?
It's just like being in a brewery when they're bringing in all the malt.
Exactly. I can
like,
smell it from here. Like I'm standing about 3-4 feet away from you right now, and it's potent. Look at that. Look at how the body of the beer was just completely transformed. Like the amount of beer that was in that glass, and then the amount of foam that just.
Love the contrast of the hot foam and the coldness of the beer. Very unique.
Exactly, the hot and cold combination, right? It's amazing.
Delicious, my friend. Your turn. Take a.
The thing I love the most about this is just like that brewery smell. If anybody's ever been to a brewery and done a tour, like you said, like that fresh malt, that's the smell that you get. You know, if you're outside of a brewery, especially, like if you're a block away, that's the smell, that really malty, bready smell. Oh my God. This takes what's like a good beer at its base and turns it into something spectacular. Not exaggerating in any way, shape, or form. If you get this. We're not sponsored by these guys in any way, shape, or form, but it's on Amazon. You can find these. If you feel like experimenting with this, give it a try. Whatever brand you can find, or if you just have a metal rod sitting around that you can heat up to that point.
I would just recommend, if you have metal rods, just check the coating that the metal has, because that's important. Good safety remark.
Yeah, we should say some kind of disclaimer here. We're not responsible for any kind of like poisoning that you might incur from heating up a piece of scrap metal in your house and sticking it in a beer. This is really, really, I can't stress this enough. This is so much fun. If you have friends that you like to get together with, good beer friends, definitely give this a try. It's something special, something different to do, and it really transforms the beer and takes it to another level. It's a fun beer activity to do.
Beer exercise.
What day is this? On a Thursday. Thursday afternoon. On vacation, what can I say? Thursday afternoon in Florida. What better thing to do than caramelizing Bock?
So happy you enjoyed it, my friend.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, and no matter what, don't forget to close your beer brackets.
Never forget. Freaking delicious.